Oh.
Oh, wow. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is Easter Sunday, hence the pastels. Just kidding. Welcome. Welcome to the Quest Show. Thank you for coming out. I am your host, Alana Quest. This is my lovely co-host.
Honor to be here.
Honored to be
as usual.
Here. That's
going to be my standard. That is going to be my standard. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern that I get to sit down and talk with you guys out there about what's going on. It's going to be an honor.
It is an honor, and I'm honored to be here as well, but I'm going to let her say that every week. So before we get started, we have a busy show coming up, but we're going to ask you guys, as always, to please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, share it. I do want to say thank you off the top to our new subscribers. We did get a couple. I just don't want to forget at the end. And that's it. I guess we can get into the show so that we don't run late.
Sure. So, Victoria's Secret over the years has taken a lot of flack for the images and the models that they have had doing their famous runway shows and catalogs and campaigns and so on and so forth. And so recently they launched a new campaign, Love Cloud, which actually they have gone the extra mile. They have made some forward progress for women. It is a diverse campaign. It features Sophia Jaru. She is Puerto Rican, 24 years old, and she also has Down syndrome. So I want to say hats off to Victoria's Secret. In addition, there is Miriam Blanco, an actress that has disabilities. They said she is often in a wheelchair, but for the campaign, she is on crutches. Victoria Sampio, the first openly transgender model for Victoria's Secret.
Okay, Victoria's.
Cello Miles, I hope I'm saying that correctly. She is from the New Pierce tribe, Wildland Firefighter. Now, that is the different, quite a different image of an angel, right? A firefighter. So that is pretty cool. And also Sylvia Buckler, who I understand is an accessories designer, but is pregnant. So go ahead, Victoria's Secret. You used to have to be this big to be a model.
Absolutely.
So for them to have a pregnant model, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and salute them.
That's a good,
I think that's a pretty good campaign.
Why is that just happening? Like a pregnant model?
I'm sure there have been others. Like I think Rihanna and I think Kanye West or Ye or whatever he may be called have featured pregnant models in their campaigns.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah, I just think this is a forward step for Victoria's Secret. It took them a long time, but it's never the wrong time to make some forward progress in what you're doing.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So salute to Victoria's Secrets for now until you do something bad, and then we'll drag you. So, but for now,
we'll salute you.
It will salute you. We will salute you. Thank you, Honor. So today is February 23rd, 2022. It is also the day that Ahmaud Arbery went for a jog and never returned home because he was murdered by some racist bigots. We did get a little bit of justice. When was that? Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah. 5 counts of federal hate. 5 federal hate counts. The father-son duo and the
sidekick.
Yeah, the hokey friend got found guilty. All 5 counts, and kudos to the jury. It was a little more diverse, but you know what? I don't know if that would have mattered, Honor. I just,
kudos to the jury and also kudos to the family for rejecting the plea deal. Remember that
yeah,
happened, and they were actually pretty
yeah,
upset and furious that one had even been offered in the first place. And
yeah,
I'm not one to ding our Justice Department and things like that. I tend not to say much of anything, but you would have thought that they would have wanted to gone ahead and taken this to trial as an example. Like, you are going to be strong on hate crimes and civil rights violations. So hats off to the family for rejecting the plea deal and putting it in front of a jury so that we can have some faith in our judicial system, that
right,
even a jury of 8 whites and 4 blacks and 1 Latino can come to a fair decision based on the law and
right.
common sense.
Right. Yeah. I think that, not to defend the Justice Department, because, you should go for it all the time. But I think like they're probably a little nervous about trying to get the conviction. So you know how they try to get it down to council or wherever where they can get a conviction. So if they got them, they didn't want to take them all the way up there and then they're found. But who cared? Like, they were already serving life. Like, so we got not what do we got to lose? Like, even if we didn't get the convictions, the Okie dokes are already serving life. Like, go on, let's go for it.
I think the conviction was important also because they weren't able to be convicted under a hate crime in Georgia because the law did not exist, right? So yeah, it was so clearly a hate crime. We watched a man being hunted down and killed for the color of his skin.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm glad that the jury came to the decision that they did. And I am glad that, yes, they will forever be labeled, because this is history in the making. Bye.
Right. And the jury, that they actually said, I think it the foreman was crying when he read it. Like, that must have been very emotional, but they got through that very quickly. It's like, even the racists were saying, yo, this is too much. Like, when racists are saying this is too much, you didn't went way too far.
Right.
Just come on, man. That's ridiculous. Welcome everyone in the Q Hive. Hello, Michelle, Mary, Andrea, DA, no sports today. So sorry to disappoint you, Kevin. I know he comes for the sports.
Of course he does. But don't worry, DA. Preseason will be back before you know it, and I will have a lot to say.
That's right. And I'll be right there with her.
Down the minutes.
Oh my gosh. So let's see what else. Oh gosh, let's talk about Slappabees. Did everybody out there see Slappabees?
The Slappabees all you can eat special?
Come on.
So, what you talking about, Lana? What you talking about, girl? What you talking about?
Let's go back to where we got it from, because it was actually Bishop Swain's tweet, and that's where we got the name of our show from, because he said, this ain't your grandmama's civil rights movement. So if you haven't seen this video, and actually DA had sent it to us in a group, but if you haven't seen the video, apparently this older white man, I was going to call him a gentleman, but we're not going to do that, in a restaurant called the
Applebee's.
Was it Applebee's?
It was Applebee's.
Applebee's. Right. Duh, Slappabees. Had the audacity to call a black man the N-word.
Basically, I watched the video a few times because it was kind of funny. It gave me joy. I'm just not even going to lie. And so what had happened was, the white guy said, I know the difference between a black person and the N-word. And I think he said, and you are the N-word. And I'm going to say the black guy, to me, he was at least 6'1", 6'2", don't you think? Easily 225, 240. He was a big dude. He just open hand slapped him to the floor.
I mean,
several times.
Girl,
several times.
he slapped the dentures out that man's mouth. With every slap, he was like, don't you ever. Now, what was that thing he said? Shut your goddamn mouth. He said, shut your goddamn. It was like, it was funny. If you haven't seen it, just Google Slappabees and you're going to see that man open hand just get slapped. I mean, it was hilarious because of the slaps.
It was hilarious. And you know what? It was well deserved.
Right.
I'm sorry, if you want to be openly racist, you have to accept the consequences of that.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go ahead and say, in addition to being a racist, he had no common sense, because that guy, that black guy right there with the hands as big as baseball mitt, was not the person that you should have been calling that.
Right. Like, is that the privilege? Like, is that the thing where you think like no one's going to touch me? What did you think? And this is what Bishop Swain means about this ain't your grandma's civil rights movement. Ain't nobody over here turning the other cheek when you call them the N-word. You say that, then you're going to get the consequences, right? There are consequences to saying that word. You know what? You can keep your freedom of speech. Go right ahead. Say the word.
Say it.
Go ahead.
Say it. Say
it all over the place. Just go on out there and say the N-word to everybody. You know, go. We want you to.
We got time today and tomorrow and the next day and every day thereafter.
Right.
That's all I got to say.
Not,
if you have not seen it, we saw it on Twitter. I am sure it has probably made the rounds on Instagram and Facebook. Treat yourself. As one comment, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, as one commenter said, come for the baby back ribs, stay for the Slappabees, all you can eat special.
Google it now. Oh my gosh. While we are laughing about things, there's more comedy in the news. So apparently, there's been a sighting of toddlers in blackface.
Yes.
I don't know.
Apparently, there was a daycare center. Was it in Florida?
No, that's right here in Massachusetts.
Oh, look, I'm sorry. I tried to send it down south to that crazy state.
I know, because why would that be happening?
I tried. No, Newton, right?
Yeah, Newton, Massachusetts. Yeah, a very liberal place too.
So a daycare center in Florida, one of the teachers decided.
Massachusetts. You keep sending it to Florida.
I'm sorry, in Newton, Massachusetts.
It seems like some. Yeah,
that's a crazy Florida alligator story. It really is. I'm just gonna put that out there. No offense to Florida, because I really do love it as a state. Newton, Massachusetts, one of the teachers in the toddlers class decided that for a Black History project, she had them paint paper plates black and use them as blackface. Now, not only in 2022 should everybody know that blackface is offensive, not even brown. I'm brown. If you
painted them this
race,
color.
I'm gonna say I'm black, but I'm really brown, nice, pretty chocolate brown, if I say so myself. Black. Hold up.
Black, real blackface.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought blackface was a good thing. She was really trying to.
When some of the parents got wind of it, they sent an email saying they were a little offended. So the teacher has been fired. And for right now, last time I checked, the daycare center has closed down due to protest. They did say that if they have the chance to reopen, they were going to initiate diversity and inclusion training. Thank you. I prefer not to have my toddler scarred by racism at such an early age.
Like, what was the lesson anyway? Like, it's just, they're toddlers. What are you teaching them? Yeah, that all you can do is shake your head on that one. But that actually did happen, everyone. So
Mm-hmm.
here's a news story, Toddlers and Blackface.
So yes,
Uh,
we still have a ways to go while we celebrate our victories, like
right,
Ahmaud's
right,
guilty verdicts.
right,
We got ways to go.
right.
And
And
from
that
toddlers to teens.
right. Martell Williams, 15-year-old teen, was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
He was picked up from his class, actually. He is a star basketball player, was picked up from
Mm-hmm.
class and arrested for shooting a Dollar General employee. So not only was
Mm-hmm.
he arrested, he was interrogated, and the police tried to make him confess with the offer of McDonald's. Who
McDonald's.
can pass up McDonald's? Hell yeah, I did that shooting. Like what
Right.
was it? What were they thinking?
Well,
What
he was 15. They
15?
charged him with attempted murder and aggravated battery. Yes, please give me a Big Mac special before I, at 15 years old, uh, confessed to a attempted
Right,
murder that I
right.
did not commit. And they actually, it was Waukegan, Illinois. They actually shot that Dollar
Waukegan.
General employee in the face. Like that's
Right,
pretty horrific.
right.
Um, he spent 2 days in jail until the family was able to prove that he was literally playing in a basketball game at the time of the incident. The family had to go out and prove that.
That's so wrong because I
Mhm.
still am confused about A, why are they even talking to this minor without a parent, without an attorney? Did you read him his
Right.
rights? Like, what in the world happened? Like, all of that was just very unclear. But it doesn't sound like it. Whatever happened to court appointed attorneys? Like, I'm so confused about all of this. Why is this little boy being held for 2 days?
I don't know because he was arrested. He was taken out of class on a Wednesday. They didn't even tell him he was what he was
Right,
charged with. He
right.
walked into the office because he was pulled out of class, and he said there were two officers there, and they just simply said, "You're under arrest."
And he's probably like,
What kind
what
of
for what?
nonsense is that?
Right, exactly. For what? What did I
So
do?
yeah, I'm sorry. But I was just going to say,
Right.
it really makes you wonder if they didn't tell him what he was charged with. What other procedural lapses were there in that whole thing, as far as reading him his rights and things like that?
Absolutely. Just like the DA said, even if he confessed, his confession would have been inadmissible. Absolutely right. Because where's his parents? Where are his parents? Where are his Miranda rights? You can't even do that. He's 15. Why are
I
we
wonder
treating
if the
him like
school
this?
had any obligation to inform them, like
That,
your child's being arrested. He's a
right,
freshman in high school. He was 15 years old. Like he's
right.
not even at that 16-year-old limit where sometimes they charge you as an adult or whatever, because he went to a juvenile detention center.
Right. And this just goes back to what we always talk about when we talk about, I know we're always talking about racism. Sorry, but this is what we talk about with Black kids, how they see our children. They don't see our
Mm-hmm.
children as children. They see our children as grown ass adults. They looked at him as a man, like child didn't compute.
Right.
Blonde, white kid with blue eyes, that would compute as he's just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down, we'll
Mm-hmm.
figure out what's going on here. But
Mm-hmm.
because, and I don't want to veer off. I'm sorry, but this is very related. I just
Mm-hmm.
read this, and I don't know if you read this too. The she 13-year-old girl was arrested in her class because they thought that another child pretended to be her on Instagram and made threats to
Mm-hmm.
the school. Thought it was
Okay.
her. They came into her class, put this little girl in handcuffs. She was held for 14 days on her.
What?
14 days
I'm
until they
sorry.
figured out what was going on because they thought that she made threats to the school. There's a lot right, for 14 days. I don't understand it until they did their investigation.
I just think there should be some type of restitution, even if it's not monetary. The state, the city, or whatever jurisdiction in which he should was arrested, there need to be counseling services, free counseling services in place, trauma counseling. Like you just cannot do
Absolutely.
that to kids, especially when they haven't done anything wrong.
Done anything. And even if the parents are suing, I'm assuming so, they probably got Crump on speed dial somewhere. But like you just said, that's post-traumatic stress disorder. Like you're traumatizing these children, and that has a long-term impact on these Black children. And we out here talking about white kids can't learn history because of it's gonna make them
uncomfortable.
Makes them uncomfortable, but our kids can go in handcuffs, and that's just okay. And be in detention centers for 14 days away from their family.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
2 weeks?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is absolutely ridiculous. You want to play a game? I think it's game time. That was
sure.
Quick.
Let's play a game.
Yeah, let's have some fun with some quotes. I can find the quotes. Quotes and questions. Get it? That should be a song. All right, let me put this.
Well, I can't sing like that. So if anybody wants to make one up for us.
Right? We take raps to whatever you got. Okay, let's see. This week there actually was a lot of quotes. So okay, here we go. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
One more little bit of breaking news before we hop to that.
Did we miss? Talk about my God, we forgot our breaking news, didn't we? Oh, let's girl, good memory. Let's talk about the breaking news. Which one? The 2 prosecutors that resigned?
That's a big one. The 2 prosecutors they resigned from that were working on the Trump organization investigation. Yeah. And I think you were telling me it was the New York Times that's reporting.
Yeah.
What is the prosecutor saying now?
That the New York Times is reporting that the Manhattan DA now is unlikely to indict Trump because of this. So what they're doing is they're putting like 2 and 2 together, because the 2 prosecutors that resigned weren't just any prosecutors. They were the ones that really put in the work to get Trump indicted. So if 2 of those 2 people are leaving, that means that they must be having a disagreement with the DA. Not the DA in the QI, but the district attorney. Right. So that's what they're saying. That are you frozen? Because if you're not frozen, you are very stiff. You look like you look like you were doing the mannequin challenge.
You know what? Froze. It froze for a minute, and I was like, I don't know if it's me or. But
I freeze too? Okay. What was I saying? Oh, right. So they're saying that because these 2 prosecutors resigned so abruptly that they must be having a disagreement with the DA. So that means that the DA is likely saying, I don't think we have anything on him. So they're
that just, because that's not what he said when he took office. That just, right now from initial reporting, it just stinks, right? It just
it really would stink, because this isn't the civil part we're talking about the criminal part. Like, this is the part that we wanted. Again, like, why not just try? Like, I'm just it just seems like you should have enough on him. And I get Trump doesn't do text. He doesn't do emails. Like, he doesn't put anything in writing. I get that, but you must have enough from everybody else writing stuff about.
You have to wonder, like, who was taking the meetings with the bankers? Who was taking the meetings with the investment firms? Right. Did Trump not sit in any of those meetings?
Cohen went to jail.
So if there was enough to convict him,
right?
Over was it lying? I don't even know what that man was convicted of at this point.
Was it lying on the stuff and signing checks? Was it the Stormy stuff? Who knows? There was just a lot going on. But he went to jail in association with this because Trump was individual 1.
Right. Well, we'll see. I wonder, as far as I know, there hasn't been any reaction from AG James's office. So it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, she says about that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they did say that her investigation is moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
The
And then
second,
there's still the
okay,
investigation in Georgia, just
and it's
lastly, as
still,
far as
yes,
Trump is
that
concerned.
is still happening, and he cannot stop his documents from going to the 1-6 committee either. So
There you
there's
go.
that piece.
Or apparently, can't stop his daughter either.
Ivanka, his daughter wife.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, we don't know. She may be thinking she's slick too. So Ivanka's in talks with the 1-6 committee about when she's actually going to talk to the 1-6 committee.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about when she's going to talk to them. See, I don't trust it. I don't trust her. I don't think that she's going to talk to them and tell them everything she knows. I think
I
Daddy
don't think
said
she'll tell them everything she knows, but here's the
she'll
thing
plead the
that I have
fifth.
been reading.
Mm-hmm.
She is really distanced herself
Mm-hmm.
from her father.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying with all of these people that they're talking to that somebody has to crack. And
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, she's a mother of three kids,
Mm-hmm.
three young kids, and they do send women to jail for
Right.
tax stop. The Real Housewife, Teresa, whatever, her and her husband. Remember, they
Right.
convicted both of them of tax evasion. I think she went first and served her time, and then he went after so that the kids wouldn't be displaced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't. They haven't associated Jared with the Trump organization, so she's
Right.
just looking at her tail riding up the river.
I
That's
hope
compelling.
so. I
That's
mean,
compelling.
I hope so. I hope she is in this and let's make a deal. We were hoping Rudy was doing that, but I swear Rudy thinks he's just smarter than everyone and he's just too dumb to make a deal like that. But he should too. But
Right.
yeah, we're gonna
So
be
it remains
watching.
to be seen.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I've read a couple of articles. It's like you don't see her at Mar-a-Lago. She's actually her and Jared settled with the children in Surfside, which is the same community in which they had that condo collapse.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
but interestingly enough, it has a large Orthodox Jewish population, which is what they are. And so
Oh,
yeah.
so he's going back to his roots after he did such havoc. Yeah, forget both of them. Like I don't like neither one
She's
of them. This
trying to
is
shine that image. You ain't really seen him
yeah,
either.
right. She can try to shine it all she wants, but she was there. She was in the middle of all that mess too. And so is Jared. And Jared was saying all kinds of craziness. So you know what? F that guy. Forget that slumlord. Let's play quotes and questions.
Here we go. Let's
Got
go.
it. First, what is this? This is a quote. Kevin, you ready? You ready in there? They rather talk about Russia, but Ukraine was the donor to HRC. They rather talk about Russia, but Ukraine was the #1 donor to Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I
Like
don't
that,
know.
Russia.
So I'm going to guess.
I'm going to give a hint shortly. They rather talk about Russia, but Ukraine was the #1 donor to Hillary. It's funny how they throw
Well, there
Hillary.
could be a couple of crazy balls that said that.
So it's a woman,
Oh, see, my guess is already wrong.
House of Representatives. She's a blonde.
Is she of this species of people or
No,
previous?
she's not of the species. She looks
Oh, I
like
know.
a
Cro-Magnon. I've
yeah.
determined. Now there's your
I
head,
was gonna say a
people.
mayor.
If you can get it off of that.
Okay, we got MTG1. Someone said Tucker. Someone
That was
said
Tucker was
Trump.
my first guess.
MTG. And the winner, did Ghost say anything? Okay, we got it. All right.
There's Ghost.
There he is. Eminem head.
Eminem head.
Yes, Eminem head is right. MTG.
And I just want to mention, you might have missed this, but we were called the Lilac and Lavender Twins.
Word? I like that, lilac and lavender. Ooh, that's right.
They'll be
I
our
like Ellen now.
I think it'll be our alter egos.
And we didn't even try, we didn't do this on purpose. This is
Nope.
purely like, wow. This is really cool. All right, let's go. Next, whoever does not miss the Soviet Union has no heart.
That wasn't Vladimir Putin. That's
that
about
your-
the only
Is
person
that your
that should have
answer?
been saying that.
Is that your answer?
No American should be saying that out of their
Is that
mouth.
your answer, Putin? Okay, we'll lock you in for Putin.
I
Whoever
don't
does
think
not.
that's the answer, though. That should be the answer, is what I'm saying.
Okay, go with your gut.
All right, I'm gonna go with my gut.
Whoever does not miss the Soviet Union has no heart. Prize. I want my prize. Okay,
Well,
we'll
because
get you some
Andrea and
prizes.
they both got it. So yeah, they want prize. No prize for second place.
Stalin. Wow. Stalin, he probably did say that before this person said it, to be honest with you. But could he have said it was the Soviet Union around? What? Nah, it couldn't have been Stalin. Trump. Do we have everyone? Everyone's locked in here? Where's Michelle? All right. It was Putin. Did anyone say Putin?
I said Putin.
Yeah.
I want my prize now.
You get a lilac shirt. Yes, Putin. Let's see. Ugh. Oh, there's so many. All right. Okay, here we go. Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he tried to get me fired from my job? Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he tried to get me fired from my job for disagreeing with him? Has he shipped my jobs away? It just goes on and on and on. Someone
the
said
nonsense
that.
of it all.
Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he tried to get me fired for disagreeing with?
And why is there such a long potential list of suspects that could have said that? That's terrible. That's terrible.
It's true. Okay, we got Tucker from Michelle, Tucker from Ghost, Tucker from DA. Okay, Kevin, and who's missing? Andrea? Okay, Kevin said Tucker. Andrea, Mary, Tucker. Where's Andrea? Did he eat a dog? Yeah, that's the next part of the quote. That is the part of the quote. That was the end of the quote. Did he eat a dog? Tuckums. Yes, it's Tuckums. It's the end of that. Did he eat a dog? Yo, these people are ill. Oh my God. Okay. This one was kind of funny to me. I don't even know why. Tucker is a traitor. Who in the Lord's name gave Putin the right to declare new territories that belong to his neighbor? Who in the Lord's name? Okay.
I think I know who said that.
Who in the Lord's name gave Putin the right to declare new territories that belong to his neighbor?
When you hear statements like that, you know there's a lot saltier language that's going on behind the scenes.
Who in the Lord's name?
You can't. We're going to take that. We're going to say Lord's name.
Because he wanted to say the F-bomb. Who in the Lord's name gave Putin the right to declare new territories that belong to his neighbor?
That is kind of fascinating, right? Like you just.
Okay. Michelle said Biden. We got Biden.
Part of another country's land.
Kevin. Biden. Let's take a minute and give Kevin some credit because Kevin he's got about 2 right so far. Someone with bad breath. Lordy. Okay, we got 2 Bidens. Joe, okay, Biden. Did we get everyone locked in here? We don't know. DA may be sleeping, so we're just going to move past him. What do you think, Chef?
I thought it was Biden.
Okay, the answer is Biden.
Yeah,
what
that
time
is
is it?
Camera Ready Joe. I know
Yeah.
he's got some salty language in there. I would love to be in one of those conference rooms when he's just letting it all out. It's probably hilarious. Hilarious.
Hilarious. Okay, let's just do one more because time is running out. Okay, here's a question. Let's see. What congressman's birthday was on Monday, President's Day? What since passed congressman had a birthday this Monday? President's Day. Since passed away, congressman, civil rights activist, Pettis Bridge marcher. Props to Kevin. Yeah, props to Kevin. Kevin's up here. Who had a birthday this week? Or whose birthday was this week, actually, I guess. Okay, we got Louis, Michelle. Come on, Kevin. Good trouble. Okay, Ghost. Andrea, Kevin. Am I missing someone? Andrea. All right. Maybe Andrea's taking a break, or maybe she is on delayed because you get them before I do. You don't even have her. All right, Kevin Lewis. Huh?
Look at Kevin.
Hi.
Everything is all of his baskets are dropping today.
Yes, Kevin is on fire. Yes, John Lewis. Good job. I mean, Michelle, you're always on fire. Goes to Mary too. But Kevin's on it. Kevin's on it. Thank you guys. That was the last. I have many more, but we're just gonna end it there so we can get everything in. So what are we gonna talk about next? Ukraine.
We cannot not talk about Ukraine.
We can't not talk about Ukraine. You are absolutely right, because if you don't know what's going on in Ukraine, you have not been watching TV for the last 2 weeks or listening to the.
And you need to know because it affects us here at home.
You see them gas prices? Stop playing. Stop playing. So Ukraine has been pushing their troops further. Russia has been pushing their troops further and further into Ukraine. They are, wow. Actually, they did the cyber attack. You said one just happened, but I know it happened earlier this morning too. So that probably means that
they're ongoing. They're crippling. They're shutting down the government services so that they can, I guess, invade unabated.
Right. And today, Biden came out. He did do a press conference, and he announced another round of sanctions. These sanctions have been pretty smart because these sanctions aren't necessarily on Putin himself. These sanctions are on Putin's family and Putin's family, friends, and their kids. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna go after your kids so that you can't, we're going after your family, your friends and your family, but we want their kids too, just in case you try to transfer money to them. We're gonna do the kids too. So that's pretty smart to be squeezing the elitist. And also Germany came out really hard. Germany suspended their deal with the oil. That pipeline deal. Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
And so, taking like a step back and looking at Ukraine, yes, Russia is invading. But there were a couple of things that I've been hearing that have come out of that. One, it has united Ukraine as a country. And two, it brought NATO back to life.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was an unintended consequence because Trump had all but killed NATO, right?
Killed NATO.
I mean, they said Germany was not at first on board with stopping the Nord Stream deal, and that Biden convinced him. You know, we needed President Biden as our president. This is a time of a great crisis. And even though Ukraine is not a part of NATO, we understand that they were, trying to make the reforms necessary to be able to get in because they are a democracy.
Right.
And we really needed someone with some real foreign policy experience. That's not an immature baby. Can you imagine where the Ukraine would be as far as assistance if Trump was still in office? Like, it would be a humanitarian crisis.
I mean, Putin would have already been there. He would have already just had his way. He would have gotten the green light. I mean,
and
Trump
I'm not so sure Trump would have done anything to help Ukraine.
No,
like really, like I not even. Well, actually, had he ever even spoken with President Zelensky when he was in office?
Didn't he do some? Isn't that why he got what? Okay, so why did he get impeached?
Oh, he did. He had the right. He did. He had the one call, but then he didn't talk to him after that.
And he was pissed because he was pissed. Right, exactly. He was pissed off. So like you said, if Trump was president right now and him being pissed at Ukraine, he absolutely. I mean, you know what? He would have let Putin do that anyway because he's afraid of Putin. So and Putin has whatever Putin has on him, so he wasn't going to say anything anyway. And I know we're not going to make a big deal about all of the people that is running around kissing the throne of Putin, but it's just
we do need to mention it.
It's pretty disturbing that
disgusting.
Right, that Republicans are uniting with Putin instead of America, instead of their own president. You're talking about Biden looks weak while you're praising Putin. Like, where they do that at? What?
Praising him while he is annexing land unlawfully, where they have said that he is. They said that there are lists, that there are people that he wants to round up and kill. I've heard mention of concentration style like camps. Like this man, and
can we talk about who Putin is?
That regularly poisons.
I was gonna say
around the world, not just Russia.
Exactly. Let's talk about who Putin is and Putin's special powder that he just has someone put on, and all of a sudden you have nerve damage and you're in the hospital or you're dead and you don't even know why. Or if you run against him, he throws you in jail for the rest of your life and you're in there doing hunger strikes just to prove a point. Like, that's who Putin is. This is who the Republicans are being like, he's a nice guy, if he's smart. Trump said he's genius. Like, this is the guy that they're praising. But meanwhile, F Americans, like, I don't know what to tell you, America. Like that's wow. Like the more you think about it, the more you're just like,
I'm not crying, people.
Oh yeah, something in my throat. Yeah. But it's like when we think that the Republicans have hit rock bottom, they just dig further. Just like we can go further. There's more for us to go, guys. You ain't seen nothing yet.
The earth with them.
Yeah, they don't care. And if you still support Republicans, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all need a history lesson. I don't want to go too far because I'm about to go back to banning books, but yeah, it's awful. But definitely Putin he's going to do it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about these sanctions. Like, we're saying, they're hitting him hard, hitting him. Putin don't care. Putin probably got $1 billion in his castle. He's probably got it like, underneath like the ground or behind the walls. Like he's fine. He doesn't care about his people, just like just like the Republicans don't care about their constituents. Like, it's the same. And I guess it makes sense at the end of the day,
And the other thing that I wanted to point out, because there's always a steady drumbeat of Biden's not doing this, Biden's not doing that. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I still have student loan debt. Oh my gosh, he hasn't done this. Blah, 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 blah.
There was a tweet about that. Did you see that? Ayanna Presley on President's Day. She
About
said so,
loan
she said
debt?
some yeah, she said something about, it's President's Day. It would be a good day to cancel all school debt or something like that. Kenny was all up in it's all up in there like, girl, what? Girl, what?
Let me tell you, it's good again to have a president that knows how to be a president, that knows how to run this nation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give him credit for being a decent person,
right?
A good president.
Right.
I mean, like you said, he brought NATO together. He got Germany to make huge concessions. Look at the economic hit that they're going to take, as far as
right.
But I don't know. Putin is going to do what he's going to do, but I think there are other good consequences that come out of everything. And if this renews a push for, the allies to come together, to unite, to stop Russia and China, who is another, communist superpower that we haven't talked much about because Putin's just been snapping up all the spotlight, then, that's a good thing. We still, because they also said, it's Ukraine now, but there's also the Baltics and Poland and some other areas, because he wants to bring the whole USSR back together. So that's
he does. He does. He said that in his speech. I mean, it was like listening to Trump. Like he's really on something. He holds some grudges and he is for real. And you're absolutely right. And that's what they're afraid of. Like, you can't believe anything Putin says, but I'm not gonna. These are peacekeepers.
Right. Rolling up in military tanks. Yeah, sure. To be continued. One other thing that I wanted to point out, and this is, I was watching, it was likely MSNBC, and they said that they did a poll and fully 1/3 of Ukrainians said that they are willing to take up arms and fight against Russia. 33% of an entire country. I really need us here in America to get ourselves together. Where have we had 33% consensus of an entire country on anything, on voting rights, on immigration? What are we willing to do? These people are talking about war. What are we willing to do? As a country, how are we going to come together to do some of the things that we need to do? I think that is momentous.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate when you see, but how can we even ask the country to come together when our lawmakers can't? Like,
forget our lawmakers.
No, I know, but I know.
As a country, like we have to, we elect our lawmakers. If we can come together and exert enough pressure, we don't have to come. Our lawmakers don't have to come together because we're so fractured as a country. Like, yeah, we just 33% of Americans. How many people are here? Isn't there like 330 million people in America or something like that? I might be pulling this figure completely out of my tail.
Yeah, we're not coming together. we're just not. Those ideologies.
It is, but I mean, it's something to think about, right?
No, it's true. I don't see why we can't. But again, how we are set up is like, you're way far to the right or you're way far to the left and no one can come to the center because you're so far. I mean, we can't even come together as a Democratic Party. We can't even come together. We can't pull that shit together. The progressives, the moderates, we can't even agree on shit. That's crazy. So how can we go from the right to the left when the left is fractured too? Yeah, we got a long way to go. We just have a long way to go.
Yeah, we do.
And I don't even know what would bring us together, because before it used to be things like 9/11, right? Everyone got close and we cared for each other. We were helpful. Like,
I think it comes down to continuing, this sounds simplistic, to push humanity, continuing to to speak out against erasure, whether it be banning books or, exposing toddlers to blackface so that you're traumatizing them. Like, we have to continue to work towards those things. And as a small collective, until
mhm,
it just gets larger, and keep pushing the message.
right.
I mean, put one
Yeah.
foot in front of the other. That's about all we can do, right?
Mm. Teach our children, because it's not going to happen in our lifetime. So we have to make sure that our children pick up the baton and
Mm-hmm.
keep running with it. And if you don't have kids, your nieces and your nephews,
Yeah.
but they
Mm-hmm.
got to continue this fight. It's like we just, yeah, it'll be okay though. We're okay. Let's get past the midterms.
How about that? Yeah.
Well, that'll unite me. All right, it is 9:54. You want to close out? Want to get? We'll do our Black history, or
Yep.
all right. So for Black history, we do realize that there are allies that helped fight the good fight, as it's a good segue, because we're talking about what can we do, how can we all get on the
Mm-hmm.
same page, how can
Mm-hmm.
we all push humanity, to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
We need people like Viola Liuzzo. Like, I think that's how she pronounces her name. It's Italian. Liuzzo, Liuzzo, Liuzzo,
Mm-hmm.
or Luzo, or Lizo. I don't know. So, okay, so Viola, she was an activist. She was white. While watching TV one day, this housewife and mother heeded the call of Dr. Martin Luther King when he asked for all hands on deck to help with the civil rights movement. So she
Mm-hmm.
traveled from Detroit to Selma, Alabama, alone. In the wake of Bloody Sunday, she marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge with everyone else. Uh, she helped coordinate. She helped get people back and forth from their homes back to marching. So I guess there were several marches too. There wasn't just one. I guess there were many. So while driving home one night, not even driving home, she was driving marches home because she had a car. So she was traveling back and forth. She was murdered by the KKK. I'm pretty sure she knew the dangers of
Mm-hmm.
helping, especially when you're white. Like, you stick out like a sore thumb. And those are the allies that we really don't talk about. And these are the allies that we do need to start recognizing, because there were non-Black allies out there helping us,
Absolutely.
marching, putting their lives on the line, because you were putting your life on the line. Matter of fact, racists hated them even more because you were
Mm-hmm.
the inward lover if you're out there helping Black people. So
Mm-hmm.
she was murdered by the KKK. And actually, in this case, three men were charged with a federal conspiracy charge,
Mm-hmm.
because there was like an anti-KKK act back then that no one ever got charged under if you were Black, but maybe
Is that
because
the
of,
same thing that they're bringing these lawsuits against them now? The Capitol police officers
I think
and the
so.
people that are suing for the 1/6 insurrection?
Absolutely.
Mark Swalwell is, I
Yeah.
think he's suing under that same act.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the KKK Act of 1871.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think had she not been white, they probably wouldn't have been charged with this. But they did murder her. They were sentenced to 10 years, and only 10 years, but they were
Only 10
sentenced.
years. But I mean,
That's a lot for
and
back then.
is it? No. Or
This for back then. Did they even
well,
get?
here's the thing. Well, I'm just thinking, first of all, if the colors had been reversed, we already know how that would have happened.
That's what I mean, right?
It seems light to me, and maybe that's because she was helping Black people. Like it's almost
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
the law or the facts state that you are indeed guilty, but we understand why. We're kind of giving you a pass.
Exactly. And it was the jury consisted of all white male.
Oh
So all
yeah.
white
Oh
males.
yeah.
They exact just like you said, they probably said, you know what, this is what the law says. You weren't supposed to do it, so you need to serve some time. I'm surprised they even gave them 10 years for killing this woman, but they served 10 years in prison. And that's
Yeah,
that.
because Black men hit death row for killing a white lady. I'm just saying.
Girl, they get death row even when they didn't. Even when they were just accused, even when a confession was coerced, like they tried to do to the 15-year-old boy. Just say you did it.
Saying they could have at least given him like Chipotle or something like that. McDonald's. And he's a basketball player. Like hopefully he wasn't even eating McDonald's.
Exactly. He like, I want some Wendy's. What the hell's wrong with y'all? But you know what? Here was my thought too. I'm thinking this kid, and I know we have to go, probably didn't even say anything because you know why? We have to teach our Black children differently, right? Like for something like that, you have to tell your kids, don't say anything. Police take you to the police station. Don't say anything. You ask for your phone call because you're supposed to get a phone call, or you ask for an attorney. Don't say anything.
Right.
That's how we have to teach our children, and he probably knew that. And that's it. So happy Easter. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye, Lavender.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you in the chat. It was a great show, a great chat. I'm not going to say everybody's name because we already named you guys. See you next week. See you next week, Anna.
See you next week. Good night, all.
Bye.